A judge, and this is a long story, so I'm just warning you in advance, so I apologize, but I'm going to make it fun for you, because a judge rules that Nebraska medical cannabis votes will be counted and declines to delay the trial, you guys. That's right. District Court judge decides current evidence and witnesses didn't offer overwhelming evidence the plaintiff would prevail in the case, you guys. The votes cast for or against Nebraska's 2 medical cannabis ballot measures on Tuesday will be counted and made public after a district court judge rebuffed a request to prevent both actions. Lancaster County District Judge Susan Strong said she agreed with attorney Daniel Gutman, who is defending the ballot sponsors, that the status quo is to count votes on Election Day. She noted that it was Nebraska's Secretary of State Bob Envin who certified the measures for the ballot, and that Nebraskans are already voting. Strong also ruled on Friday against a request to delay the trial, and Austin-based attorney Annie Mackin, on behalf of John Kuhn, who filed a lawsuit against the ballot measures, asked Strong to prevent the counting and tabulating of votes because the ongoing trial could invalidate the measures. Mackin said state law requires that only, in quotes, valid votes be counted, and the measures would regulate and legalize medical cannabis out there. And they, in a quote, they say, without a TRO, which is a temporary restraining order, or other injunctive relief before 8 a.m. on Monday, the horse is out of the barn, so to speak, Mackin said. I like how they use that in Nebraska. Beginning Monday morning, 24 hours before polls open on Tuesday, county officials may begin counting early or mail-in votes. Looking at the merits of the motion and the merits of the case at this time, I cannot find that the evidence is so overwhelming that I know right now. Without looking at the exhibits and the rest of the witnesses and everything else, the plaintiff, Kuhn, is likely to prevail on his merits, Strong said on Friday, adding that she's not saying Kuhn can't or won't prevail as the trial continues, and attorneys from the Nebraska Attorney General's office arguing on Envin's behalf outlined challenges to nearly 80,000 petition signatures this week in a trial before Strong. Kuhn's attorneys used their efforts this week largely to support the efforts of Evans' attorneys, and Deputy Solicitor General Zach Vigilianco told Strong that he agrees with Mackin that the evidence could invalidate the measure, but said that Envin opposes not continuing votes because, if possible, election integrity concerns you guys. That's right. The ballot counting machines have already been programmed to count all ballot items, and Vigilianco said and reprogramming the machines days before the election could be difficult, you guys. Vigilongo said it is technically feasible not to publicly release votes, though Evans' directions to county officials would be considered guidance, not a legal requirement, and because the state's 93 county officials are not part of that case, Strong said she wasn't sure whether she even had the authority as a judge in Lancaster County to issue a statewide ruling. Statewide election questions are usually directed at Lancaster County, particularly when they involve the Secretary of State. And among the state's witnesses are Jennifer Henning and Michael Egbert, two paid circulator petitioners who said on the stand on Thursday and Friday that they didn't follow the law while gathering signatures. Both allege that the notaries they worked with might also have broken the law. And Egbert has been criminally charged with a felony for using a phone book to forge signatures. And on Thursday, attorneys noted that Henning is on probation on 2 counts of felony insurance fraud and has in the past submitted fraudulent documents to courts. She has not been charged in the current case, and a quote says, "I think it would be a travesty of democracy to halt an election off of the testimony of Michael Egbert or Jennifer Henning." And that's essentially what the request is, attorney Daniel Gutman, on behalf of the ballot sponsor, told Strong. Assistant Attorney General Justin Hall on Friday questioned another witness for Evan, 22-year-old campaign worker Garnet Connolly, on advice from his attorney that Molly Burton Connolly pleaded the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination to nearly every question from Hall, including those questioning possible criminal wrongdoing. Among those questions were Conley's process as a top campaign volunteer and whether he followed the law in notarizing or circulating petitions and whether he had destroyed any communications. Hall showed the court some Conley's texts to and from Henning and some between Conley and ballot sponsor Krista Eggers, campaign manager for Nebraska for medical marijuana and a prospective witness. Eggers has not yet taken the stand, and a separate criminal case from the AG's office is underway, and Connolly and Eggers have not been charged yet. But Egbert told J.C. Todd, a notary from York, that they have been, and among the Conley and Henning text was a string in May when Henning asked how she could find a notary to sign off on petition sheets she had circulated. Henning asked if she could give her petitions to another notary, and in a quote, they say, "Sure, whatever works best for you," Conley responded. In an additional quote, "Otherwise, you can sign them and everything, and I can swing by and grab them if you leave them in your screen door or something." "They are already signed and filled out," Henning responded, and much of the case revolves around alleged fraud and malfeasance on the ballot measures, with the attorneys for Kewen and Envin seeking to impugn it or extend any instances of wrongdoing to any and all petitions that those individuals touched. For example, notarizations must be done in front of the person who signed the petition oath, and the notary must know the circulator. The Attorney General's office has indicated at least 1,110 total instances of wrongdoing on petitions, and approximately 3,500 signatures on both measures would need to be tossed out to invalidate the election results. In another exchange, Conley with Eggers, she detailed her panic in ensuring the campaign was successful in its third straight election cycle and said, in quotes, "There is no more nice campaign. We don't follow the rules anymore, and we just pay the consequences and hope it's okay." In another exchange, Eggers and Conley discussed a campaign worker who they suspected might be a plant to invalidate the measures, and in quote says, "We should probably be very careful," Eggers told Conley, "not to lead him to question that we ever notarize things that aren't in person and such. Just stay very clean," end quote. Because Conley pleaded the Fifth, the ballot sponsors' attorneys and Mackin did not question him, but while addressing Mackin's motion to prevent counting votes, Gutman said he had reviewed all of Connolly's texts and said they didn't show what the AG's office was suggesting. And a quote says, "I will say that no offense, Mr. Conley, but his text messages are profoundly boring," Gutman said. "They pick 2 or 3 text messages, construe it out of context, and then come up here and say, 'Let's halt an election.'" Earlier in the day, Egbert testified that he joined the 2024 medical cannabis campaign through a Facebook ad and spent about 45 minutes to an hour shadowing another circulator as part of his training. He testified that he would sign his petitions at home before dropping them off at Todd's business on Grand Island, and Egbert said he had met Todd once. Egbert said he also never signed his sheets in front of a notary and never witnessed a notary notarize his sheets. Gutman said Todd vigorously disputed those accusations during his deposition and said he talked with Egbert regularly, including about his neurological medical condition that Egbert said impairs his memory. Oh, look at that. It impairs his memory. A recent injury will prevent Todd from testifying in court, and in a quote says, "I would say he's a lying man because, no, I did never sign anything in front of the man," Egbert said about Todd, among other witnesses on Friday, where Deanne Nice, the Saunders County clerk who oversees elections, and Ronnie Goylar, an independent contractor for the state as a mediation aide who helps Henning with her son, and Mark Sangor, a full-time forensic document examiner examiner who reviewed about 150 signatures for the trial. And after Strong concluded that Coon's attorneys hadn't presented the overwhelming evidence needed to prevent votes from being counted on Tuesday, Mackin asked to delay the trial until criminal investigations had finished. Gutman objected, noting that Mackin and Villago earlier opposed delaying the trial when requested by the ballot sponsors, and Strong decided against Mackin's motion after Friday's hearing. And Monday could be the final day of the trial. That's right. That's today, you guys. And election day is Tuesday. And oh man, I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. And congratulations, Nebraska. Your votes are going to count. And this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News. I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say about this.
Oh, boy. Well, I guess they had some dry-ass text messages. That's fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is ridiculous. I feel like there's worse things that have been left in screen doors in Nebraska. But, I mean, I think that it's a good thing for the Nebraska voters that their vote will actually get counted.
I think
because it fucking should, because they voted.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by worse things left in screen doors, Jenny Beth?
I could just imagine there's been some weird shit in screen doors in Nebraska.
Like flies?
Corn?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Raccoons.
Oh, interesting. Squirrels.
Peanut might have been in a screen door. That could have been the problem.
Rest
in peace, Peanut.
Rest in peace,
Peanut.
Peanut.
Harambe holding him up there like this.
You beat me to it.
Yeah.
Harambe came back to avenge Peanut's death.
Mm-hmm. Matthew St. Germain, you got some sound yet? Your microphone working yet?
Damn it, man.
I don't know. He's just smiling.
Tomorrow's election day. The government has silenced Matthew St. Germain. They're like, that's enough of this.
I see. No, we can't hear you, Matthew.
Sour.
I'm sorry.
I feel bad for Tristan because you know he's actually screaming.
Exactly. Yeah. Fortunately enough, Matthew, some of us can read lips. But man. I don't know what's going on with you. You usually are like so good with the technical issues, Matthew.
He loves us. He'll see us on Friday. He doesn't know what's going on. He's having technical issues. I'm interpreting for him.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Interesting. You guys aren't texting or something, huh?
No, we're not. I just read his mouth.
Interesting. Cute.
You're a professional lip reader now, huh, too?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being helpful. I'm just trying to help.
Fair enough. You have any other final thoughts on this Nebraska story, man? They got a hot trial going on out there.
I don't know, man. This is a mess. You know, it's going to be lots of lawsuits, and I think it's going to take more away from MJ Biz's this big prediction. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy!
Can we just giggle at the fact that MJ Biz, an event company, is now the authority on how much industries that don't exist yet are going to produce? Like, I just want to put that
hold on.
hold
on. Slow down. MJ Biz does produce an event, but they also are a news outlet. MJ Biz Daily.
Yeah, that's great, Mel, but I don't believe them. And they were also recently acquired, so you just got here. Give it a second. Get a drink. Put your feet up first.